Hey everyone, my name's Captain Jack and welcome to the Conley Lost podcast. We're here in the holiday season to talk more about Conley Lost, share some of our thoughts of you. So joining me today is Chris, the head of our film crew. Chris, how you doing?
Hi Jack, I'm doing good today, thank you.
Thank you very much. And of course, we're joined by the mysterious but not missing in action, Dr. Kraz.
I'm still alive, y'all.
I'm back soon. We'll talk more about that later. We're also joined by Horza.
Yeah, I don't really want Kraz back. Can we replace him?
And we're also joined by head of Stourbridge, Mr. Castle.
Hello there.
And finally, but not least, Mr. Finn.
Hello.
Excellent. So today we're going to be talking about our experiences on Conley Lost, sharing some of our thoughts with you, having a bit of a chill podcast session, seeing where our thoughts go, but also we're going to be answering some of your community questions at the end here. So if you did get a chance to write in and ask us a question, anything at all about the series, we'll be responding to some of them on screen, and hopefully some of your questions will reach there. If you didn't get a question answered today, or at the end of this video, or during this entire podcast, it's going to be about an hour long, feel free to drop it down below, and we'll take some time to come and respond to them as we go on. Alright everyone, let's jump into this. So guys, starting off with, Conley Lost now has been going for, I think, 20 episodes by the time we release this one, which is, it's been quite a journey so far, hasn't it, when you think about it? Has anybody ever seen initial thoughts on how we've done so far?
I think we've done not too bad so far.
It's
Been a learning experience?
It's been a learning experience. It's not exactly been easy, but it has been incredibly fun.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
I
it's
think,
been
you
a lot of
know, like Horse said, it's been a lot of fun. I think, you know, from obviously you guys knew when I was prototyping it like 3 weeks away from, you know, even before we set foot on it, and I built the film set and went from there, and we was really, you know, digging to do this because we came off the back of another project as well, which we can't talk about too much because we may be going back to that soon. And I think, you know, because we couldn't get on to work, it's kind of like a bit deflating and a bit, you know, exhausting. But when we got to Conley Lost and it started gaining traction, especially when we filmed that first episode, it was great. I loved filming episode 1 and 2, particularly episode 1, that whole entire like crash landing scene and, you know, the battle around the ruins. I think that's some of the best stuff we've done so far.
Oh, absolutely.
The first episode was definitely a lot of fun from a film crew point of view. We got to do a lot in that, and since then the film crew's just grown.
So Chris, why don't you talk about the film crew a minute? Because obviously I put you in charge of heading it up, because obviously for those who don't know, for a bit of context, Kraz, you've been or was working at another job for a while, wasn't you? Doing your night shift job, which is why you couldn't be in the series.
Yeah, I've been working since like the start of summer until like a week or two ago. Actually, yeah, about a week ago. And I recently came back, so I don't have a clue how it's been going except for the stuff Jack's been telling me.
It
So-
took them that long for them to figure out that you're that useless.
I quit!
4 years. I know
Yeah,
you
that's
didn't
the
quit.
official story.
You didn't.
I'm gonna study you, nonce.
I like there was multiple different responses there. Just Kraz starting with "I quit," Castle going, "So it took them that long to get fired," and Jack in the background going, 4 years.
So back on track, as I was saying, but obviously, I put Chris in charge of the film crews. Originally, it's going to be Kraz because he usually oversees most of that. But given the fact he'll be in the series and he also was working at the time, particularly working nights, so there's no way the film schedule could work. Chris was put in charge of it, and Chris, you've been doing a stellar job of it. Why don't you tell us a little bit about how it is managing a film crew and how your role sort of connects with Conley? I guess a lot of the, like regular viewers might not know what extent of work you do.
So with the film crew, we have our standard film crew, which normally involves flying the fighters. They do have to follow quite strict instructions when it comes to flying the fighters and actually using the weapons on them, because obviously we don't want to blow you guys out of the sky with some rockets. So it's normally like stormtrooper aim, that sort of stuff, and then it's getting everyone organized. It's then if we've got any big ships, it's deciding who's going to fly those. Sometimes I don't even get to like really take part. I will just stay in the background, make sure everything's running smoothly. And in some episodes, I will just like act as like a game master and control doors for any constructions that like, or like any bases you guys go in. So it's like,
But while we're on the topic of your film crew, there's someone in your film crew that's fucking got it out for me because they never fail to knock my head off my shoulders. It's a big 50 caliber round of fuck you.
Any ideas on who it is?
Are you sure it's the film crew?
It's probably fucking Bash standing right behind me, the cunt.
Well, that bit's being edited out now, isn't it?
I mean, you could just censor it out. Like, everybody knows, like, when you actually censor me from a change, I've definitely said something bad, like that. Oh, actually, can I say that, can I?
Oh no, carry on. We'll see what makes it into the edit.
It was the episodes episode 6, I want to say it was. It might have been 4, where me and Bash went on a road trip.
Oh god, no.
Oh,
I can't. You've
think
not
I
heard
saw
about
this.
this.
Oh, I think I saw it in the episode.
If you haven't watched it, I would recommend go watch it. But it's the whole scenario lasts something like less than 2-3 minutes. But I got so fucking mad at Bash. One of the lines was, I can't remember what I called them because it got censored as well, but I threatened to go back in time and strangle him with his own umbilical cord.
Oh, Baby Thanos style.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, was this the episode where I was playing Horza?
Yes.
This is
It
the
may
one
have
where Bash went out and within 3 seconds had like one wheel.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't even get
it was that
through my.
episode.
I didn't even get through my first sentence of saying to Jack, "I'll let you know if he's bugged out." The fucking wheel's already gone.
So, Kraz, you thought you were bad at driving. Yeah, it's
Well, no, I'm not bad at driving.
Yes, you
well
are.
While you were in Sweden, did you ever feel afraid when in the car with
for the
me?
first 10 minutes. Yeah,
Well, yeah, obviously, but
And
you're
then he
just
parked.
you're just scared of me.
that was before you actually took a break off, Chris.
I mean, that's a little different, Chris.
I mean, also FYI for the people watching this, I've only seen until midway episode 5 of the Colony Lost.
Yeah, so if anyone out there's thinking, oh no, I haven't caught up on the series, yeah, don't worry. My head admin and best friend hasn't actually watched anything I've produced for a good 2 months now. So you're doing
Well,
fine
I'm
out there. And don't say you're busy because you've been sat around watching shit memes for the last 2 hours.
Yeah, that was the last 2 hours because I'm sick.
Mm-hmm.
You could have watched 4 Colony episodes.
For context, I'm pretty sure by the time this comes out, Kraz may be back.
Yes, I think, actually no, by the time this comes out, because Kraz, you'll return in 2020, we've already filmed the episode. So for those wondering, I guess we can talk a bit about this in a minute, how confusing it is for some of you guys, but equally is hard and confusing for me. We film about 2 to 3 weeks in advance, so the episodes which just went out, which was last weekend, was actually filmed on my birthday, which is November 12th, and they went out on December 9th, or it was 7th and 8th actually, yeah, 7th and 8th. So yeah, it's rather confusing. It is the correct date there with then. So yeah, it's rather confusing to think about that. So obviously, the episode we filmed with Kraz won't actually go live until January, because we're even more extended then. So it's interesting when you think about it.
It's good for us though.
Yeah,
We
ultimately
need
it is
that
good.
extra.
Because we get that extra time, because if something does go wrong, or it's a technical issue, or I have to go out of office for work, it means we don't have to work panic to record another session, which does work better in the long run.
You said if something goes wrong. I think you
When.
mean when something goes
I mean,
wrong.
we can give the example there of the session that we just filmed last night.
Yeah, we can talk about that, as that will have gone live by the time this releases.
Yeah, which
This
is
is session
currently-
10.
That was so session 10 for us is
Actually, if we want to be even more specific, we could start off talking about the failed session last week.
well that's built into it. So it's episode 20 and 21, isn't it?
Yeah,
No,
roughly.
19 and 20.
19 and 20 were filmed in 2 separate weeks because we filmed the first half and then the server just went to shit.
Yeah, it fell apart.
It was not
Yeah.
having a good day.
Sometimes we have technical issues that.
It's
we're
just
not
because I
entirely
came
sure
back.
Why they happen.
It is, yeah. You came back for that week and it all fell apart. Thanks.
Yeah, basically.
Thanks a
And he
lot.
was back this week as well.
Yeah, and it all fell apart again. If it keeps
Yeah.
going like that into January, we're going to have a word.
I mean, Jack, one thing you could do is you can censor this entire sentence that I say right now, and then just sort of go, "Whoa, we can't say that, Castle." And then basically, because we had to take one of the servers down just to make sure we had enough sim speed.
Yes. Yes, we do. I mean, we can say that because they'll probably know by now. But yeah, we had to take down an entire other dedicated server to make sure our box had enough power. And that kind of worked, but still we're pushing SC to the limit. And I think that's something important to discuss as well. A lot of the comments, which we'll answer later, a lot of people ask how difficult it is filming these episodes. The rate and scale we're doing stuff, we do push SC, its servers and engine by, just too much sometimes. And we did that with Conley Wars as well, but that was to a lesser extent. Because what we're doing here is a lot of NPC and AI features, it really does push the limit.
Oh, speaking of questions that people were asking, he's coming back in January. You fucking happy?
Why would you subject us to this torture?
If I can add something onto when it comes to the server thing, I think the boxes we have are pretty good, but I think we shut it down because we weren't exactly sure, because SC is kind of unpredictable when it comes to some things. We weren't sure if it was either someone connecting out of our film crew that was like super far away, or if it was having two servers, and then we don't know if there's the wrong settings on the box and such.
Yeah,
But I think at the
to,
end we could have both of them on. I think. We
Yeah, I
figured
think
out.
we should be fine.
to clarify for those who think, oh, download and upload speed are two different things, we didn't have really much of an idea what was going on, so we sort of theorized that while someone was disconnected to the server, they were still registered on the server, so we sort of came to the conclusion it might just be the constant packet updates.
Yeah, session 10 was very hard to film. We got past it. Obviously, we just finished filming it and we're about to film session 11 next week. So for context, we're filming today's podcast on the 11th, so this will probably air on the 21st, if not later, when I check the dates. But yeah, it was hard. That's probably one of the hardest sessions we've filmed to date. And thinking about it, we've done quite a few complex things for Colony Lost so far. I mean, episode 1, the Malta being destroyed and shot down, that was very tense and hard to film, but still came out extremely well, I think. That laser going through the Defender was great. I loved that.
And that was all done manually as all of that shooting down the Malta, that was done from the film crew. I was sat in the green drone ship, and one of the other staff members, Shuanator, he was sat in the Malta, and he did a really good job of like making it look cinematic where the Malta fell down out the sky.
I'm still kind of sad this Huanator wasn't on the actual recording crew, because like we could have actually had him driving. I could have just went, punch it, Huey.
I hate you.
I'm excited to have Kraz back in a team, to be honest. It's gonna be
That makes
fun.
one of us.
Kraz, how do you feel about, like coming back as well?
It's gonna be nice. It's also gonna be a lot of work on Tuesdays, but it's gonna be worth it.
I thought you've missed it a little bit.
I have, but also with the issues we face sometimes, it's like, oh god.
Yeah.
I think, to be honest, I think this break might have been good as well.
It is, yeah. It's a lot of, I guess one of the questions, we got as well, we'll go to more of these questions in a bit. People are asking, how much time does it realistically take to make Colony Lost? For the average recording session, for the average person who's involved, it takes about 2 hours a week, probably sometimes 2.5 hours now, with our rather complex episodes due to the scale of getting a film crew set up. For example, myself, I'm there from about 7 p.m. GMT, probably all the way through to about 11 p.m. GMT on a Tuesday, so it's even longer for myself. But for the average person, it takes on about 2 hours, probably 2 hours and a half now. So it's a lot of time to commit to one project a week, and you think we're doing it every week on every Tuesday. It does take a lot of time and can get very stressful, particularly when things don't work as well. It's interesting creating this series, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean that's not even counting the time spent building the sets for the episodes. Just those can take the better part of the day leading up to the actual recording session.
Yeah, it's because someone always leaves it to the last second. Whoops. Well, for context, for those who will see episode 10, not episode 10, sorry, session 10, which is 20 or 19 to 20, which airs, or is probably just aired, which is our mid-season final before we return in January 2020. The sets of that I built within a day, because I came back from Sweden from visiting Kraz, and couldn't do it on Monday when I arrived back, because I was traveling all day. So I literally started around about 11 a.m. Tuesday morning and went all the way through to about 7:30, about an hour before we recorded, just finishing everything off and making sure it worked. Obviously, I guess it's kind of a blessing in disguise the session didn't work, because I got to refine the next half, but still it was a very stressful day.
I joined you on the building side for the facility about 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
I was
You
late
both
at the
sounded
bridge.
Pretty stressed about that point. Well, when we started, you were both pretty stressed.
Mm-hmm.
And 3 hours sounds like a long time to do the recording in, but it's not when you actually have to do it. And the inevitable things that go wrong, cuts, reshoots, banter.
Having
we-
to roll back the
I take
server when
no
I came in and
responsibility
got
for
out
banter that's
the
caused
bridge.
resets.
So, linking back, prime example of when shit goes wrong. Colony Wars when Ival's jumped the station. Those unexpected issues cause all hell of problems for us.
Yeah, I mean, like, a lot of people ask about Conley Wars and how the contrast between filming that series and filming, Conley Lost is, because obviously it's all in my grand Conley design. Because obviously I started Conley Survival back in 2018 now. It's like, Jesus, it's a long time we've been filming this series. We started back there, and obviously we invited Aaron in, and we did Conley Wars, and now we're doing Conley Lost. The contrast between the series is quite a lot. I think it's kind of easier filming Lost, but at the same time, it's not, because it requires a lot more planning and work ahead of time. At least with Conley Wars, I was managing 2 teams, but this one here, it's intense.
You do
I
a lot
think
of
the
work beforehand.
difference is with Conley Wars, you had to try and work out a way to balance the 2 teams together and work out how they could both be involved in events to record. Whereas now it's one team that you have recording, and then we've got the film crew that comprises of over 15 members now, I believe. And we get all of them in the server, and then we can have the server resources dedicated to one team and a film crew that's dedicated to providing content only for that team. Whereas previously you've sort of had to do stuff that accounts for having 2 players attend teams and them meeting up and making the content.
I mean, some of the film scenarios in, Conley Wars, GG Driver just hit the desk, were just insane. I mean, one of the ones, I guess we can talk about it, because I know people are dying for me to talk about it, so you might as well do this in this environment, is obviously the episode where I had the entire thing reshot because it didn't look very good. Now, Kraz, you was involved in this one, and Finn and Castle, and Hawes, I think you were there for this one as well. Chris, I'm not sure whether you were there, but I know you was in the background.
I was in that episode, but I was back at the Watchtower for that part.
Yeah, so this is the episode where we went out to engage with your own team, and had to basically reshoot the whole thing. Everyone remember that one?
So what a lot of people don't actually realize is usually it would be you, me, and Aaron that knew what was gonna happen.
Yeah, so we planned it ahead of time.
You would usually jump in like a few hours beforehand and do stuff. Then if there was something that you needed help with, I'd come in there and help you. Like, let's say a waffle iron, for example.
It's always a fucking waffle iron, isn't it?
Yeah, or like linking up ships and stuff like that. Or putting a base back in its position. But yeah, so you and I would do that, and then Aaron would come along sometime before we start, and then we would like run down the whole plan and say, okay, this was the idea. And for this event, the plan was that it would be a mysterious signal that teams would know about.
And for context, to add some extra point in there, that was meant to be a green drone signal. I was always building the story of the green drones, which are now in Conley Lost ahead of time. So we saw the GDA destroyer in that one. Obviously, they weren't called GDA at the time, but we saw it in there. And the idea was, both teams meant to go and investigate that. But do continue on.
Yeah. So, like Jack said, we were supposed to investigate that. None of the teams were supposed to know that the other team was going there. And the plan was just, probably some little conflict, and maybe someone loses a ship. Obviously, like, no one was supposed to lose like something they've been working on since the start of the video or something like that. It's more like stuff they could get back fairly easily.
It was a test
but something
of metal,
entertaining as well. Huh?
It was a test of metal. Everyone's meant to get a few scratches, a bit of a bloody nose, and then
maybe lose a ship. It kind of depended on what happened. But yeah, so we came in there, and the first shoot, obviously the drone team were prepared. They knew that we were coming. They had a PvP tactic, which is a good tactic, but this is a cinematic universe. We're supposed to, not wreck each other in one go, because if that was the case, we could have flown to their base and just shoved in, what was your big ship called?
I do not remember the name, because you was a part of this series. Honestly.
Yeah, our capital ship. We could have just shoved that in there and be done with it, but that's not how it's supposed to go. So that was a bit annoying.
We kind of already went over this topic when we did the last podcast as well. We had the final one done as the official one, and then footage was released of the other thing, and people were going, "Oh, that was a much better fight. You should have done that one." The thing was, like, people forget that we're recording for entertainment purposes, not just a straight up versus modes.
As I'd always said, if it was a legit PvP series, we would never have been to 60 episodes at that point, because no one would have anything left. We probably wouldn't have made it to space. We never met you if it was a legit PvP series. But, if it was a legit...
I still have my bloody ship.
If it was a legit PvP series, then, yeah, of course, that tactic would have been great. But we also wouldn't have gone in there Or I wouldn't have driven us in that tactic, knowing full well they would have been sat somewhere else. It's like, come on. So yeah, that was probably one of the challenging episodes to record. I know a lot of people asked me about that, simply because I kind of had to make a decision there on what was right for my own POV as well, not just the entire series. And I know that off-put a lot of people, but again, those are the difficult decisions you kind of make when you're directing and producing an entire series, to be honest. Because obviously that also offset, if that had gone through, it would have offset the entire balance of the series. We probably would have been to 80 episodes, which wasn't ideal.
I mean, it was something that obviously I was one of the POVs during that fight, and whilst yes, from a tactical perspective, that was a great tactic they put through for PvP fight. But when you're filming from a turret and all you've got is moving one direction, watching them jump, moving the other direction, watching them jump, moving back forward, not being able to get a shot off.
And shots coming in at the same time.
It's about telling story.
It doesn't make for fun content or enjoyable perspectives.
Or good YouTube, good cinema.
On the bright side, Jack, now we're no longer doing team versus team. Hopefully people stop accusing you of having plot armor.
Well, yeah. I mean, if anything, there's more plot armor in Lost now because it is a legit story series. How the keep hasn't been fucking annihilated yet, I have no idea.
I mean,
but it's now more a Power Rangers episode than a football match.
Essentially, yeah.
It's had moments.
If anything, we're like a Star Trek thing. The Enterprise can't be blown up every episode.
The
It
keep
also
has
lets
lost
you
its...
show, Jack, I mean, you love your fighter battles. And we all know that small craft maybe aren't the greatest things in the world in Space Engineers, but they are an awful lot of fun.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, one of the things we can sort of talk about is, I guess, you guys sort of know what's coming up with Conley, or should we say in 2020, because a lot of people ask how long the series is going to go for. I can safely say it's 50 episodes. Excuse me. Now, I've spoken to you guys, and without spoiling anything, we'll blank or cut this out if anyone says anything. There's a lot of good stuff coming up in 2020, wouldn't you agree, for what's planned for the series?
Oh god, yeah.
I'm coming
No
back.
idea.
Apart from that.
I'm going into it.
So I think, one of the good things is incorporating more of what Space Engineers is known about. By now, actually, we wouldn't know this by now. Obviously, we're going to different locations, so I can say without spoiling anything. Space is obviously a given. So there's lots of different things that are going to happen in this series, and I think that's the benefit of Space Engineers and this series as well. We're not just being stuck in the same base, same planet. We're going to explore mobile bases, different planets, very vastly different planets, different setups, and at the same time, the entire story of Conley Lost. And guys, I want you to talk a bit about what do you think of the story of Conley Lost, because you're also heavily invested in it as well. Only certain, I think it's only Kraz and Chris who know the actually, it's only Kraz who probably knows the full extent of how the story's going. Everyone else, you basically watch it, obviously apart from when you're acting in it, but other than that, you watch how it comes out, really, don't you?
Yeah,
pretty
you've
much.
talked with me a bit about it, but not much about the actual side of things of what's going to be happening after the mid-season, effectively, other than Kraz's dreaded return.
Welcome back, you miserable prick.
I say this, however, I think it was like episode maybe 8 or 9. There's me sitting going, I miss Kraz.
There is actually. I've missed you in the series, to be honest, because it's been like, we've been working together now for, 4 years almost? And having you not a part of a major series, kind of like, oh, well, it's,
I mean, I know, I'm the bloody light in the room.
I won't go that far.
Yeah.
Elephant in the room.
If you were a light in the room, that room would be fucking dark.
Crash, you're like a fart in an elevator. It's just not.
Arthur in the wind.
I'll take it.
Unwanted, but everyone knows you're there.
Jesus Christ.
You're like Thrush.
So rude.
Castle.
On form today.
No.
Castle,
Please
no.
don't go down this.
Beep. We'll be right back after the scheduled broadcast. So moving on, I'm going to turn to some community questions in a minute. I'm pretty sure if people liked this podcast thing, we could always come back and do another if you've not answered enough. So I think that might be a good idea even for supporters to me. So someone asked this funny question, I was reading as I was scrolling down. What made you guys move from bullying Kraz to bullying Bash?
Wow.
It was the natural choice.
He
was
made
there.
it so easy.
It was the for context, before we start this conversation, I wouldn't say what goes on in Conley Wars or Lost is ever bullying. I know a lot of people sometimes get their ass in a twist about this. At the end of the day, we're all very good friends. part of our like friendship is taking a piss out of each other and basically banter. That's kind of what we do. We've done it forever. We do it even when we're not recording. So when we do it in recording, I know sometimes it can seem to some people like we're being hostile to one another. It's never the case. It's more or less, everyone's having fun in a safe environment and we're just friends taking a mick out of each other. And, we have discussions at the end of recordings or before them and check that everyone's feeling okay and there's no hard feelings. And I think that kind of sums it up, doesn't it?
It's like hardcore BDSM. You need to make sure there's aftercare.
For fuck's sake.
Thanks, Castle.
You cannot say that.
I think it's the best way.
I want a t-shirt.
The best way kind
It
of
says that.
reason.
Sorry, Finn.
The best way. The best way to kind of like explain why we have the kind of dynamic that we do. We have currently 3 Scottish people in here who rip the piss out of everyone.
Shut up,
fucking
you English
hourly
cunt.
basis.
Oh, fuck you too.
We're the only people that I know that can greet people with 17 insults and a compliment. We have Jack and Chris who are just cynical all the way to the fucking end.
Cynical old men.
And Kraz just has the thickest fucking skin because he has like 4 brain cells to hold.
Yeah,
it in.
like
Oh, fuck off! I'm gonna become an engineer, you dick.
going back to like there is round about when I joined in Colony Wars, like it felt like every second episode that Jack put up, people were saying, "Oh, Castle's very mean to Kraz. Castle should really stop that. Castle should stop." Fuck you, cunts.
And now
You have no idea the shit he talks behind fucking scenes. Like when we're not recording, like fucking hell.
I'm very
Absolute
innocent. Keep
bastards.
blaming Castle. Keep blaming him.
If you think what you hear...
No one blames Castle. He's like a fucking god to the most.
He
of the
abuses
people
me
now.
behind the scenes.
Yeah, because you fucking deserve it.
We do a lot of BDSM.
Kraz takes it like a champ.
He
Oh
does.
god.
In both ways.
Oh god.
Kraz is most definitely the taker.
Fucking
I'm
twink.
not. You can trust me on that.
Sorry, getting back on topic there. Like, Kraz, if you actually watched any of the episode for Colony Lost, most of the comments now is like, I miss Kraz. I kind of miss when Castle took the piss out of him.
I've watched 5 episodes.
Out of how many?
16.
No, don't do it, Jack.
I was gonna say
how many
20.
I wouldn't have improved your case whatsoever.
I know.
So, moving on, one of our questions as well, we get this quite a lot, and I guess we can talk about it. Someone's asked, like, will the DOF and RWI join forces in later episodes? I think what a lot of people don't know is technically the teams are merged into one. This kind of was the original goal to begin with and always has been since I started this series. So Papel, Finchy, and I'm not forgetting, when am I, are now all on our team. They're the only survivors of the DOF. Everyone else is dead.
We
Yeah, we
tried to have
executed them
more, but
behind
we
the
couldn't
bar.
actually get a hold of them.
The cut point in episode 1 is Kraz just going behind the DOF crash cruiser and shooting everyone else in the head. I mean,
There was a
we found 2 of them in Mars, didn't we? We found some people in that cave.
Oh no!
Oh, that was a wonderful little scene. It's like, oh look, it's former cast members of Colony Wars, and then Kraz just immediately names someone. So like, if you go to that episode, he's actually just been censored.
Good luck finding an episode with so much mean people. So yeah, I think that kind of answers. He's not episode 5. I think that kind of answers that question.
Probably a good chance we advertise for people to watch Escape from Mars. It's like Colony Wars, just a little bit not as good.
We went off the rails faster. So here's a good question as well. So what percentage of recordings are unusable due to problems or errors or broken stuff?
Will the outtake be
50%?
Yeah, I mean, we're hopefully going to have a big outtake thing for this Christmas. I'm not sure when it's going to go up, but it always requires me booting up a ton of the edits again, checking through everything, and it's quite a tedious process. When I'm editing, if there's something I don't like, I cut it out. I don't usually save it. So if I am editing, I have to kind of force myself to save stuff. So sometimes it's not really there.
We forgot to give you all my old recordings I still have when you were here.
Oh yeah, I'll come back to Sweden tomorrow.
It's fine. I'll upload them to Google Drive one at a time.
Oh, great.
You would, by the way, like you use that as excuses, like, I'm not at the office anymore. I need to take a holiday now because I'm over Sweden visiting Kraz. Not visiting Kraz, sorry. I'm just getting important documents. You fucking bullshit.
Fucking Kraz.
Yeah, basically.
I told you it takes it like a champ.
He does.
Taking it back to the topic.
That's a joke, by the way, everyone. That's a joke.
It's not. This is getting cut out. Yeah, so we got quite a few questions here. A lot of people asking to bring Venom back. Venom's not coming back anytime soon. He's got quite a few personal stuff he's dealing with at the minute, so he won't be in the series. Also, we kind of killed his character off at the end of last series, so
we didn't see him die though.
Well, we didn't see him.
We didn't see him die. It's like Game of Thrones. We didn't see them die. They're not dead.
I did. I held him in my arms.
So
And
I
fucking put the dagger in deeper.
I had been looking through the comments and I found one that just like made me chuckle. Just, will Bash ever be allowed to do anything?
No.
I mean, he's worse than me.
In the latest session, which was session 9, which is 15-16, he basically attempted to make a flying drone, which then didn't work and it didn't go well.
17-18, Jack.
Yeah.
He tried to.
We let him drive the keep bit.
Yeah, we said we were going to ban him from small crafts.
So far in the 16 episodes that have went out currently of Colony, or is it 18?
Something like that.
16.
Currently 16 out at the moment of this recording.
Yes, so the 16 episodes out. Bash has currently crashed the Marauder several times. He has crashed that little fucking sentry thing that he was making by flipping it.
What happened to
several
his cheesy?
miners.
What happened to his cheesy catastrophe?
Oh, that just
He
exploded,
crashed
I think.
Papple's Wonder Rover within a second.
Yeah, no, he body slammed it.
To be fair, that's not so much his fault. That Wonder Rover.
I'm gonna say right now, I get your sentiment, but because it's Bash, it is by default his own fault.
Oh, you're right.
And I'm pretty sure he has at least taken off 2 of the wheels of the keep.
Yeah,
As well as causing us to lose the Marauder when trying to rescue him.
Oh yeah, and I don't know who it was. It might have been Jack, but feel free to pass the blame, Jack. Somebody slams the keep's back door down, and it
oh my god,
it absolutely destroyed Finn's little buggy, and that's why I had to drive it back.
That wasn't me. Oh wait,
You
no.
can't blame me either.
Yeah, it was when we were going to rescue Bash, so we can blame him.
Actually,
No, you
what
can't.
happened there was I drove the keep along, and I was progressively pissed off at this point. After everything went wrong in that session, and we almost fell out of Bash. I was driving along with the recaptured Marauder in the back of the keep, and we was just bouncing along. And we got home and realised there was nothing left of the ship in the back.
well,
It'd fallen apart.
I mean, like, the one thing you did get was good footage of Finn nearly getting killed, like Final Destination style.
Oh yeah, because
by
Finn stepped in a
several
hangar and a
wheels.
fucking tyre just went through the door with him.
Yeah, because it wasn't bolted down, so you hit like a tree. The tree hit the rover hit the back of the keep. You then went over a hill and the rover hit the roof and just turned to paste.
Yeah, it's just completely annihilated it.
And then Castle's driving behind us. You just open the door and just shoot things out.
So here's a good question. Someone asked, this is by William Stokes, he asked, who was the first person you set your eye on for the Connie Lost cast? And I guess this is like an interesting one, because it's something we always come down to. When we were selecting cast for Connie Lost, obviously immediately I knew I wanted Krause with me. Unfortunately, I couldn't work out those, because he was a prick, so we couldn't take him on.
Oh, fuck off.
So then obviously I had Finn, Castle, Bash came with, and then we sort of went down the rest of the people who appeared in Conley Wars, but also people who appeared in the unannounced project we was working on, still kind of working on. So obviously Horza came along with us. Then obviously we thought, I really wanted to get the DOF in with us to basically, you know, cause I wanted to merge the teams. Unfortunately, some of the DOF members are no longer part of the community for various reasons. So we got Finchy and Papel on board, who basically came with us, and we kind of built our team from there, really. And then we invited new people. So, for example, we've got Owen, Lur, and Moors. So Owen and Moors are new people. Lur wasn't technically new, as he'd actually been in the series before. We cast him under a different name of Lur.
Wasn't Owen? Yeah, wasn't Owen?
Owen was also in. Yeah, no, he was also in.
Owen was in at the very, very end of Wars.
Moors was new. He'd been part of the project. That the reason why the project didn't kind of go ahead was because of Kraz working, which kind of led to us going.
That wasn't the only thing. That project is not just on Kraz there. The project...
It was fiddly.
Yeah, it was very... I think, you know, from what we've learnt from doing Colony Lost now, I feel like we could go back to that project at some point when Lost is done and finished and maybe do it again, because I think we've learned different techniques of filming, different techniques of using film crew, and go from there.
We spent honestly more time.
We spent about 6
brainstorming
weeks.
how we were gonna, we spent more time honestly brainstorming how we were going to do certain scenes, re-recording scenes, than actually. We didn't really have much by the end of it.
Yeah.
As opposed to what you do now, which is you spend still quite a lot of time on the setup, but a lot of us are going into it blind, and we play our parts and act naturally.
Yeah, it's a wee bit weird though, because like the series we were doing before was going to be more. It was going to be heavily role playing. It would have been more serious. It would have been people keeping to certain roles. Colony Lost is a lot more. It's a lot more relaxed because like we can get away with. Because like the whole premise of Colony Lost, if you look at it from a storyboard perspective, is we're stranded on a planet with killer drones and we need to find our way off. What we're doing in episode 17, I think we're all taking the piss out of Kraz because he's not here.
That's every episode.
For us,
Yeah, I was gonna say.
What we faced was obviously with things like Colony Wars and Colony Survival, we had that kind of loose, fun aspect of it, but in the very early of it, we did lack that kind of story. Building into Colony War, like later half of Colony Wars, we then obviously started building in more of that story. The project was going to go the other way, and it was going to be basically scripted, and it kind of took that freedom aspect out of
It didn't feel like
series.
playing Space Engineers.
We were essentially creating a cinematic series. I think that's one of the things that divided it apart, really, was that difference in, just for tone. It's kind of hard. Like with Connolly, I'd say comedy, it kind of comes when and where it does. But also, it's the dynamic crew we've built between us. And I think, we lack a bit of that because Kraz isn't with us at the minute. But with the other series was attempting, because it was scripted to a heavier degree than how Connolly is, it's kind of hard to subvert comedy in that unless it was an outtake and didn't really fit. So therefore, it probably wouldn't have been accepted. I mean, like, the comedy elements of the Connolly series, they come at most random and inconvenient times sometimes. But it is hilarious. Like, recently I was watching back the Waffle Iron episodes. It's like, it's totally out of the blue where it came from. And it's made everyone piss themselves. Remember, we had some really weird stuff in Connolly Wars as well. And towards the end, God and the Big Gay, which just pissed everyone off. And, the cars down the corridor and stuff. You don't get that in other types of series. So I think, Connolly Wars and Lost as well, they do themselves justice by having that amount of humour. And I think as we progress on as well in Lost, there is going to be some great moments. It's doing really well so far.
I mean, we've had a few, like your proclivity to just randomly steal rovers from the base.
I get bored, right?
Or shoot people.
Do you know how traumatizing it is to be in the basement, like working on those hangars, and just hearing Jack's firing the shotgun again? What the fuck?
I mean, like at least, honestly, I'd much prefer Jack taking something for a quick joyride because there's actually a fucking chance it'll come
What
back.
kind of joyride?
Only you.
Oh,
Oh god.
The joyride that doesn't involve bash in a vehicle.
What
I'm
is
sorry,
that? Purple?
I don't want to rag on the man, but like at the same time, I think it was episode 15 or something like that. He's like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna get this miner and I'm gonna bottle flip this vehicle, and then all of a sudden, de twat.
That was
Did
when
you
I was
just-
building the defences, and all I heard for pretty much the entirety of the recording was bash. Genuinely have no idea what was going on. But just bash constantly swearing and then flipping something and then flipping something else, and I don't want to know.
During some of those scenes, if you don't hear anything from me, it's because I'm progressively getting madder and madder at thinking, I can't put any of this in, I can't put any of this in, I can't put any of this in, fuck you! It's kind of what happens.
That is actually things though, because Jack can separate his own audio from the recordings. Sometimes there'll be a little bit of audio quiet.
Whereas me
And
kind of
that's
shut the
because
fuck
Jack's
up.
telling somebody to shut the fuck up.
It happens
Like
quite
right
a
now,
bit.
when you hear that silence before Jack just spoke there, that was him telling me, Castle, I'll
I'm
fucking
taking a
murder you in
drink.
your sleep.
The fun part is quite often what will happen is Castle will go into a continuous swearing rant of some sort, and Jack will just cut it off like 5 minutes in by going, "For fuck's sake, Castle, stop fucking swearing! I can't fucking."
I mean, nowadays with the YouTube changes, it's almost like I'm there going, Castle, come on, a few more minutes, come on, keep it up.
Yeah, go.
Castle, we need that maturity rating.
It's almost like, you know, those stupid games like where you had to get the meter in between. Like you couldn't get it too far down because you fucked it up. You couldn't get it too far because then you fucked it up as well. You have to get it right in the middle. You know those stupid puzzle games. It's like that with Castle swearing. It's like, oh, a bit more, a bit more. Ah, too much.
That's a bit miserable to compare YouTube to like QTE events.
We're all fucked. I wanted to hire Kraz, but now he might just become the janitor instead.
Excuse me.
He's used to being
Just
on
cleaning up
his
his own mess.
I mean, I volunteer as replacement.
I'd say maybe going back to the difficulties, people need to realize that sometimes there's stuff that will happen that we literally cannot account for. For example, us having to remake a world because the other world became so corrupted due to us using it for so long, or a base going out of its position that I have to get in there and align it perfectly to where it was. It's like these things, they don't really happen on a public server. They happen in recordings only for some goddamn reason.
If you actually think about how often we have to, or you, I don't have to go and do it, have to go back and do that, it's a lot more than sometimes I think we realize.
I think at one point, what was it? Within a month, which is 4 recording sessions, almost. I had to go in, because me and Jack were working on stuff, I had to go in maybe 10 times and move something because it was not where it was supposed to be. But then there's also like, there could be issues with people's audio. There's like a bunch of things. So it's like these episodes aren't easy to make. It takes a lot of time and effort from everyone.
Coming from the man who's not had to sit through an episode of Colony Lost yet.
That's why I said it was a bit of a break for me, which I'd say it's nice. I missed it, but it was also nice to not have
a bit of a break. It's been a whole season, you lazy prick.
Half season.
Not yet. I've been here the last 2 weeks, so you know.
Look how they went.
I flew a ship.
You can't prove it.
So Kraz, you actually flew the Intrepid, didn't you? Which is our new RWI ship.
Damn, you can prove it.
Oh, I thought it was the Valkyrie.
No, it's the Intrepid.
I'm joking. Yes,
Fuck.
I flew the Intrepid, and I feel like I was trusted with the Intrepid because of my excellent flying skills.
No,
You were
it's
trusted
just,
because we couldn't find anybody else.
There was like 20 film crew guys.
And they were all busy. Thank you for doing something.
Fuck off.
But I guess the Intrepid's entrance is probably one of the best episodes so far. I think that kind of I love doing a cinematics filming for that. I always think when RWI make an entrance, they know how to make an entrance. Is one thing, and if they didn't get shot down in like one entrance this time, RWI came in and actually did something useful, which is good.
Yeah,
we're not out of it yet.
Also, you added my faction.
Factions for the sort of new Colony Lost universe, which is in the same universe as Colony Survival and Wars, but it's not related to Planet Wars and stuff like that. Let me just say that now. So for those who have been following my channel for a while now, the Redwood universe, which encompasses Planet Wars, Serenity, Redwood and stuff like that, is separate from the Colony universe. Yes, there's heavy similarities, that's for a reason. I draw inspiration from one I can't really touch anymore because I don't want to work on that one. So faction-wise, CNL, which is Kraz's inbuilt game faction here, they will appear at some point. They've technically appeared already and they have been mentioned a couple times. RCSP, which is Venom's one, that's the Royal Canadian Space Police, I believe. They're going to appear again at some point. Also...
I was about to say, what about the GSA?
And also the GDA, who are the Green Drone Armada, they're obviously the main people. DRF, they're not in it anymore because they were absorbed into us. INIC, they're gone out of it because they were destroyed in the Great War. So yeah, there's a ton of factions in the universe at the minute. I think more will pop up at some point, but at the minute the core ones are obviously RWI and GDA and CSS, which is the Colonist Survivors Space, something like that. Spaceship.
Communist?
No, colonist.
Oh, okay.
Not communist.
We are definitely not communist.
Socialist?
No, we're not. We're definitely not that either. It's a heavy capitalist society in the colony world.
You may have been gone for half a season, but it's a fucking dictatorship still.
You want to know the funny thing of what similarities Colony Lost shares with communism? On paper, it's a good idea. It's the human element that fucks it up.
So looking at a few other comments here, we've got quite a few. So someone's like, why don't you use build and repair? Because we forget and we're shit at the game. That's kind of that question.
We've also got too many
Speak
people
for yourself.
for it to actually be of any use.
That too. It's pretty speak for yourself. You've not been in the series yet. Honestly.
Yeah, exactly.
I think build and repair does take some element out of the series when you've got 10. You've got 10
Sorry,
people. in the
build
crew.
planner, not build and repair.
Oh,
Yeah, we don't
build
use build
planner.
planner. We're lazy. And also, I'm old-fashioned.
I use that all the time in survival.
I don't. I've been playing SE
When
since
I
2013.
Yeah, but it's like I like that feature. It was like I won't forget what I need now because I'll just grab it all at once using
Fine, I will make
nice
an effort
feature.
to use it from 2020 onwards. All right, someone will have to
this.
remind me
It's
every
your
episode.
New Year's resolution.
My New Year's resolution: that and go to the gym. One of those isn't happening.
Shit.
Because I know which one you want to happen, so you have to sacrifice one.
Ooh, I don't know.
So we can't talk about this. We can talk about it, but for those who know, I've been building a new ship for Conley Lost. It's appearing like in January, so by the time this comes out, yeah, we can't say what it is or what anything looks like. There's a new ship which I I built from scratch for the series, and that's quite fun so far for those who've seen it, isn't it?
Yeah. You showed me and Chris around it earlier on, just before this.
Yeah,
And it's going to be fun.
it's gonna be
I'm very
fun.
excited for it.
I can't wait to show that one. I'm glad you've seen bits of it as well. It's very. I can't wait to have that in Conley.
I can't wait for the first fuck up on it.
Obviously, there's a new big RWI ship appearing soon, which I can talk about. That's definitely coming along. So we've referenced it so far. It is the Valiant, and there's a new voice actor who will be playing Captain Hunter, I believe, which is coming along soon. One thing as well, a massive shout out to our voice actors as well. They do a brilliant job. Major Concern, who's in the Discord, is currently playing Commander Reed, not Major Reed. He's been doing a fantastic job and has really brought the Intrepid crew alive. And then we've got Collier, who plays, or Collier, I always pronounce his name wrong, who plays the Commander, that's the Green Drone Commander. He's very fun. Kraz, you just had a very nice voice segment with him, which you did today, didn't you?
Oh, well, I didn't know it was his voice.
Well, it's written as the Commander on the sheet that you read from.
Well, I didn't know that was his role.
Well, maybe if you'd watched any of the other episodes onwards, so you might have noticed.
Fuck you!
He's been in since episode 1, so have you actually...
I've been busy.
Have you watched
Your
episode 1?
absolute inspiration on what.
Yes, I've
not to
watched
be in
episode
life.
1, but I don't know the man's voice like straight
He
off.
watched episode 1 because we made him watch it at EGX.
Yeah, I watched 3 episodes at home because you guys showed me 1 and 2.
Oh, wow. Can we just get on record? He's actually watched 3 other episodes. Quick.
Right, yeah. Oh, record it.
We have
Take a
visual
quick
proof
breath.
that he watched 2 episodes. The other 3 we don't know about.
So I think to round us off, does anybody have any closing thoughts on how we're doing Conley Lost so far? What do you guys have to think?
It's been a very fun project to work on so far.
I've
Having
been
the film
enjoying it.
crew involved has been a lot of fun as well. Being able to do stuff that you couldn't show otherwise, or would take too long for you to use with Space Engineers inbuilt cinematic tools.
Definitely.
It's been
A
a lot
massive
of fun.
shout out to the film crew as well, because those guys, they give it their free time on Tuesdays as well, and they really do help us. Like every fighter you see in non-cinematic scenes is piloted by them, and they really do an exemplary job of following our instructions to the T and just getting stuff done. And so a massive thank you to them. They do really help bring the series alive.
They've been amazing. I've actually sat in with a couple of them when we've been waiting for recording to start. They're actually all really good people.
They are, and it makes it feel much more epic in its own way because you have fireworks, explosions, flat guns, and fighters flying all across the place, which is hard to do in Space Engineers without all those people.
Except Ogre. I'm certain it's him that keeps pot-shotting me, the prick.
Looks forward to beeping that name.
I mean, I can also say Keen do watch the series. Some of them watch the series, so it's nice to see that they like what we're doing.
Someone's
They've
fishing for a
probably
job.
watched more episodes than you.
Probably, yeah. Probably.
Can I just say I'm still
Definitely.
surprised that I'm actually a part of the series. I'm not kept around for my professionalism.
No. No, you're not.
Scottish.
But Finn's Scottish and so's Horza.
I thought Finn was Irish.
No
Yeah,
one
but-
fucking knows that I'm Scottish.
I've said it many times. It annoys the hell out of me that people don't
If all
notice.
the like when people watch the episodes and you say that, they just ignore that part. They don't listen to that part.
Wankers!
Yeah.
There was one. There was a question that had popped up for me that was like, "What's the name of your Scottish friend? I don't know how to spell his name, and I don't know whether he means me, Castle, or Horza because all of our names are pretty easy to spell."
Yeah, like it's weird. I went looking through some of the YouTube comments before, and somebody spelt my name as like it wasn't Castle, it was Casile.
Casil.
Yeah, there's lots of there's missing L's, missing E's, lots of I's, and just no there's a couple of people out there who just can't get my name right.
People spell
sounds
Kraz's name
Italian.
with a K sometimes. I mean, Keen themselves used to do that quite a lot. Jesse, if he's watching, used to spell Kraz's name with a K, which did make me laugh. I just never had the heart to correct him.
It's actually it's funny because I used to play with some people on the roleplay server, and they called me Cracks because they're Swedish. So it was like, fuck saying crabs, we're gonna say cracks.
Didn't at one point, I'm pretty sure it may have been like when they did it with the K, they also did it with a W instead of an R as well.
Our ship name is Crack, believe it or not.
Yeah, isn't that crow?
Quaz.
Craw?
On that note, I think we should probably round this off here, to be honest, before, fucking Mama Kraz gets dragged into this or
The
something.
only thing I'd say, Jack, is like, when the blooper recording comes out, maybe tag on like a bit at the end, just like all of us watching it blind for the first time, or not yourself blind because you edited it.
We could do like a group recording. That'd be quite cool. Maybe we'll watch it live. That'd be funny.
Yeah,
Do it on Twitch. See how
'cause you'd
quick
actually
you
be
get
able,
banned.
you'd be able to show us it before it went up, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would be able to actually. We could look at doing something like that. That could be a good idea. Well, everyone,
You could tack on to the end of this.
I hope you've enjoyed your time here on the podcast today. And I'm sure people in the comments can let us know if they'd like to see any more of this come out as well. Because I think it's quite cool to sit here and have a chat about, how we're doing so far. I think for future reference, we can get some more topics on as well. Today was more of just like casual sit down and chat on how things have gone so far. And yeah, does anybody have any closing notes?
I thought those were our closing notes.
Oh, all right. If you had anything more, all right. Some of us are obviously sick and desperate to get off somewhere.
Remember, at the end of the day, it's all a game. It's all for laughs. Remember to be good people and take care of each other.
We hate each other.
Shoot it.
Laughter is fun, but salvage is forever.
Oh god.
Sex, Lies and Salvage, the new book from Mr. Castle, 2020. We'll produce it.
Episode 2, getting banned at a cinema near you.
Alright everyone, thank you for watching us. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. If you survived through this hour, well done. You should become a supporter. No, I'm joking. Thanks for watching very much. New episodes of Colony Lost start on January. A date and a trailer will be coming on the first week, so keep an eye out for that. We're really excited for you to see what we've got cooking so far. It's going to be fantastic, and there's a lot of surprises in store. Thank you very much. I've been Captain Jack. Today I was joined by Chris, Kraz, Horza, Castle, and Finn. Say goodbye, everyone.
Take care, guys.
Goodbye.